Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Paranormal Guyz. I'd like to welcome everybody to the show. Remind you to come over to find us on YouTube under the Sport Cat shows are the Paranormal Guyz and WDJY and WRFN. We welcome your support, so come on over and like, follow, share, and subscribe. Watch us live. We got several shows. And, of course, thank you to the Parapost Network and Yergs Radio at yergsradio.com for allowing us on their channels. All right. Well, without further ado, because we've got some great guests lined up tonight, let me bring out my paranormal assistant. Are you para or are you normal tonight?
Hello.
Are you?
I don't have a normal setting.
Oh, okay. Well, and then my other trusty sidekick, Amanda. So, Amanda,
Stay
I'll let you do
off
the
my
introduction.
woman.
Hey. You're gonna be part-time here soon. I won't hear it. I got multiple women. So
My butt.
I'm recruiting. So Amanda, I'm gonna let you introduce this guest because you and her are gonna be doing something special here soon. Tell us about it. We'll introduce her real quick.
All right. So we have Shay Smith with us tonight. She is a psychic medium and so much more. I mean, she's just awesome, amazing. And we are starting our we are starting our podcast on Monday called Two Broke Witches, and we are so excited. And I'm going to let Shay take it away. She has some great ideas, and let's hear about it, Shay.
Hey. So our podcast, my idea was to make a place for us weirdos out there, which covers a lot of different things. It's not just paranormal. Like most people hear that word and they think it's just like ghosts and hauntings and things like that. But literally it's anything the opposite of normal, which pretty much covers my entire life. I mean, you've got everything from your cryptid people to the aliens to the ghosts to the weird and mysterious unsolved things. So I kind of want to be able to have that kind of topic each and every time, except for the special ones that we're going to do that will involve investigations of places that are, we're going to call them local to Kentucky. I want to focus on that for the first little bit and see then where we can branch out from as far as investigating. And they're never really going to know where we're going to go for the investigations. I'm going to keep it under wraps probably until the very last second. Hopefully get to showcase some interesting places that are not as well known as some others are around the bluegrass, including like Waverly and some of the battlefields we have here, Bardstown. There's pretty much nowhere you can go in this state that doesn't have some sort of a weird haunted history, just because we have so many layers of history in this state. So I want to kind of showcase the unknowns. But yeah, other than that, it's really just an excuse for me to get on there and kind of talk about my weirdness with a bestie. So that's pretty much it.
Just tell me you're going to do aliens.
You're going to do what?
It sounds very similar.
You're going to do aliens too, right?
Yes, there will be some things about aliens that I have some personal experiences with, and some things that have happened with family members that even that it was important enough for them to write it in the family Bible. Let's just put it like that.
Oh,
Yeah, my family is actually from Hopkinsville, the town of the Little Green Man.
Yes. There's so many weird festivals here too that people don't know about. It's insane. So
yes, so many festivals. I mean, things you wouldn't even think about.
Yep. So I'm excited to get to share a little bit of just things that nobody really knows about me and things that people haven't seen about our state that we live in, Kentucky.
That is cool.
Then when y'all come this way, just pick me up and I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Okay, deal.
Definitely. Shai's in West Virginia, so she's not too far away.
Out there, like,
there's so many things in West Virginia too, and we're such close neighbors.
Yeah,
I've been there several times for investigations and stuff.
Yeah, we'll go to the lunatic asylum and we'll check in.
It's on my. I actually have
It's amazing.
coming up there next year that I just learned that I have friends doing. So I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
Cool.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually just looking up. My wife does genealogy, And I found out that a lot of my people are from Kentucky and West Virginia area that I didn't even know about. So that's kind of cool.
Nice.
Welcome to
Yeah.
Appalachia. Everybody's got somebody who came from here.
Yeah,
Yep.
my grandfather was a moonshiner from Tennessee. What can I say? So
Basically family.
yeah, pretty much. Actually, he wasn't a shiner. He was the runner, or whatever they call that. I forget that.
I mean, that's the same thing. You're going to get in trouble
Oh.
regardless. So y'all the
Like
same in my
average.
book.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Well, Cheyenne mentioned something to me earlier I hadn't thought about, but tonight is a full moon. And do you find as a psychic medium, the full moon does anything? I can tell you, I think you're a nurse also. As a paramedic, I could tell you that the call volume increases and the strangeness increases.
So I
That's
will
why
say the official full moon
today.
is tomorrow night. But the day before and the day after has
Oh shit!
pretty much the same stuff. And yeah,
Son of a gun.
I mean, it's if you work in medicine, if you work in any type of like
I'm gonna be
asylums, I mean, honestly, especially I work in OBGYN a lot. I will say there's a lot more, I wouldn't say babies born, but there are more issues related to birth and with a lot of pregnant women. And yeah, anybody who's ever worked in an ER setting will tell you there are crazies. It will be either a dead silent night, which is almost creepier because the next day is going to be like payback, or it's going to be completely busy. And yes, like paramedics and stuff like that, I know y'all get more calls for sure during this time of the month. As a human, yeah, I can always tell that I am completely drained. I will get headaches. I will be nauseous. Like, I'm very sensitive to the cycles of the moon and the gravity pull and all that. It's so much fun. Yay.
Good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I had always wondered if there was, I mean, like I said, in the field, I noticed there was a difference, but as far as with the psychic,
you do get more activity when it rains, when it storms, when there is a full moon. Lord, I don't know, sometimes even around the holidays, it makes a difference, I think, as far as what can get triggered on investigations. And then anytime there's like a solar flare, which we're having a lot of things go on right now, if you follow that with the sun, with the comet, with being able to see the northern lights, it's all because of the issues we're having with the sun being in its massive state. There's a word for it. I don't remember because I occasionally will look at NASA and be like, oh yes, I feel smarter today. But like I know it has to do with the solar flares and geomagnetic or thermal stuff happening within the last month or two. Everybody has felt like there's been a lot more pop-ups with spirits. And on top of that, it's the time of year that the veil gets thinner anyways. So this year feels like it's a lot heavier than normal.
interesting. Were you going to say something, Cheyenne?
No, I was just like, I don't know. I kind of feel that it's just a heavier feeling overall.
I'm waiting for you to hear this back, Glenn, because I'm getting a lot of feedback and stuff tonight.
I can hear a little bit, but not
Like
a whole lot.
it's almost like an extra person is here.
I'm sorry, I'll take credit for that. My bad. Like,
just don't tell me you see somebody behind me.
No, it's almost
There
like
is
there's
a big-
somebody else talking. Do you all hear that?
Yeah,
No.
I hear it.
I don't hear anything.
They're crazy. Don't tell them.
Hey,
We
100 years
already
ago,
know.
I'd be locked up, bro, already.
Shut up! I'm trying to work here.
I would have been on my third lobotomy by now. So
Yeah, I've thought about that before.
Was it
Right.
I'm a pill carrying member of the club, so yeah.
Yeah.
Anytime there's like, I think it's our alien shows, UFOs, full moon, Glenn
That's
hears
what I was
stuff
saying.
all the time.
Not only not do we but then the full moon on top of that. So
Well, Chris is reporting he hears it as well, so I'll probably hear it on playback,
Yeah.
which is where I hear all the weird stuff. So.
Yeah.
well, we hate to tell you, Chris, but you are now a card-carrying member of the club.
You're not alone, Chris.
Right. Oh,
Shay,
goodness.
you also do readings and stuff like that. What is your most common request?
Okay, so the mediumship is different than the psychic aspect of a reading. Those are two totally different things. Like mediums speak to the dead, past ones, spirits. Psychics, we know things. We know things we probably shouldn't. We can just see things about people or get a feeling about somebody. They kind of, for me, I get requested for both. A lot of times people are like, if somebody comes through while we're doing the tarot reading or something, let me know about it. But your top, and I could almost say this for almost all of us who read probably, that you get love life, relationships. It's usually number one. Number two, I get asked a lot about career and finances. And then my third favorite, which is, of course, the easiest, is I don't know. I'd like to know anything and everything about my life, which is what I call the general reading, which I'm like, good, way to narrow it down. We got this. I totally can do this within 30 minutes. Bring it. So yeah, those are usually the top three, but the top two will be your money, career, and love life. So yeah.
Like a private eye.
Yes, we kind of are. We are a psychic PI. It's somebody allowing us to have a glimpse into their life. So that's always humbling, no matter how many times I've done it. And then there's some people who are like, there's things I don't want you to know. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna need you to be real specific as to what you don't want to know, because if you don't tell me, it's probably going to come up regardless. So you let me know that before I start reading.
Are you going to see me naked? That's all. She's passing.
What was the topic?
I got this new crystal. That's another story.
Oh God!
Did she throw another one at you?
Please, you gotta show her.
Oh God, what is it?
I apologize in advance.
It's his birthday present.
My misfits got me a tiger eye phallic shaped.
I mean,
crystal.
I told him if you rub it, it's good luck.
Say that I've never owned one of those objects. It's just
I hadn't until yesterday.
It
and
actually
you
has a lot
are
of
welcome.
properties. If you really look up the symbolism and stuff behind it, actually kind of cool. So I recommend that you do that.
Okay, I'm going to call it my Tower of Power. But
I love it.
Now
I love it.
I love it.
Plaque that says that, it needs to go right there on that box.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Your penis rock. Yeah.
my girls love me. I know they do. So it's all in love. So.
Something solid.
Well, to be fair, it was better than the gift that Andy wanted to get you. So
We'll talk later.
Good Lord.
and I'm talking, you know how I am with stuff. This is Andy.
Maybe we should bring Andy and let Shay talk to him.
I kept it clean with my gift.
Yes. She got me a Bigfoot lantern and I love it. So
Yes.
Oh.
No, I wanted you to just have it right there on your desk with all your collections. So at least you had one that was hard.
it's there. My Tower of Power is right there. So.
Tabby called it your ejaculation station.
Oh God.
Thanks,
Why?
Tabby, please like, follow, share, and subscribe to the Power of Tower or Tower of Power. Maybe the hell it's called. That's going to be.
Oh my goodness.
We're on a radio rock station from the Tower of Power.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the background symbol, like with lightning bolts around it. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Thor hammer coming out of the end. You know.
Exactly.
right down
like ride the lightning style.
Yes.
Yeah.
I can't put me on a show with beautiful ladies and I just not go downhill. I'm sorry. So.
Oh my goodness.
Well, do you believe in the metaphysical of the crystals and how they work? I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You know why? I'm lazy. Do you know what I don't have to do? Much at all when I'm using crystals. They do their thing. I let them do their thing. Like people will carry objects or talismans or something important to them when they do investigations or just everyday life. I wake up and specifically choose bracelets on purpose, not just because they match my outfit, but like I have an obscene amount of crystal jewelry. Probably it's almost shameful how much I have. But yeah, if I know I'm gonna have a day that I'm gonna be stressed, or I feel like I need a little more psychic protection or something like that, I'll choose certain bracelets, certain necklaces. Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan
I've
of
already
crystals.
been thinking about the jewelry I want to wear on the investigations just to protect myself from whatever we may come in contact with.
I mean, I will put a few different ones depending on the locations I go to. Yeah, like for instance, tonight I have a few sitting in this room right now where I'm at that are good for speech, that are good to open up your throat chakra, stuff like that. So when I'm doing speeches or anything where I got to be in the public eye, I'll wear some protective ones, some to help me kind of keep a clear head, some to keep me grounded because sometimes it's a lot of energy. Like this weekend when I do Scarefest, you can guarantee I will be having a bunch of stuff on Friday at 4:00 when I have to do a seminar. So I'll be loaded down with a whole bunch of rocks, an extra 20 pounds on me. Yes.
It's worth it.
Very
They
much
even
so.
make the bra crystals now where you can just put in your bra and have them right
Yeah, we've
there
been
with
doing
you.
that for years. Some of us not
Yeah.
as smart as others. We just kind of loosely put them in there instead of putting it in a bag. So accidents would
Just
happen.
get home and just oh my.
I about broke my toe one time forgetting
Take
I
it
had
out.
a certain rock in there. And I took my bra off and I was like, oh my God. Yeah. All you heard was little things hit the floor. Yep. I'm not the only one either who's done that. I know I'm not.
Nope. Sure not.
Yep.
It's new to me.
That was
but
that was like me like sticking money in my bra and coming home and taking my shirt off, and my ex is looking at me like, I was like, what? And I look down and I've got a $20 bill just stuck to my boob.
I mean, yeah.
slide job.
I was like, well, it's staying there.
Or popcorn, going to the movies, you have
Yes.
extra treats for later.
You gotta have a place to store your snacks.
Gotta go somewhere.
Lord.
That's like that's like the story of when I had the spider fall down my shirt.
Oh no.
It fell down from under our carport, and I was like, okay, maybe I'm just losing it. And then I get up our couple of stairs and I start feeling something, and I did that again, and I just saw something black, and out on my front porch, which was not a rural area, I am just shaking my bra going, ah!
Yes. Yeah, that's
and
yeah.
Here's my ex back here who hadn't known my mom very long, and here's my mom at the front door, and they're both just going,
Jesus.
I've almost wrecked a car because of that before, and I feel like I would have been justified had I actually done that. So
and they were both just like, what? And I was like, it's a spider. There's a spider.
Oh my God. Driving is the worst. I got stung by a bee while driving. Yeah.
I'd wreck
That
a
was
car.
rough. I was in my big ass truck. I had to just slowly pull over and pretty much pick it out of my back. The stinger was still in. I had to pull it out and throw it out the window.
No.
Yeah,
Ouch.
that was the worst. Yeah, on country roads too.
That's where I got the spider attack in the bra when it fell out of my sun visor. on a curvy friggin' road, trying not to die.
I have a crazy EMS story that we had this one guy that was a frequent flyer. He liked to have a few too many and fall out of his trailer. And he had one lung and a chicken breast. So we call him Chicken Breasted Boy. And he was a regular Friday, Saturday night guy. And I'm new to the country. I've been in Washington, D.C., and now I'm a paramedic in rural Tennessee. And we get out there. Well, first I'm wrestling with Chicken Breasted Boy to protect the C-spine because, you know, that's what you're supposed to do, fight with your patients. And so I'm wrestling, trying to get the C-collar on, which basically immobilizes the neck. You know what it is, I'm sure. And my partner leans up because every time I roll him over to get it, you know, to Velcro it up, he'd start jerking and twitching. This is the first dumb story I did, or a dumb thing I did. My partner leaned over to me and goes, "You don't stop that, you're going to kill him." Apparently he was Chicken Breasted Boy had chickens and there was an electric fence there to keep his chickens in. When I was rolling him over, I was rolling him into the electric fence.
Oh my God.
Mistake one. And then we're in the middle of nowhere, there's no lights, no nothing, and I left every door in the back of the ambulance open. So get the kid, finally I wrestled him up without giving him third-degree burns or sending him into his arrhythmias. And I look in the South, they have these giant wood bees. They're huge. They're brown. They're like 2 inches long. And they were like swarming the light. And I was like, is anybody here allergic to bees? As I'm de-assing the truck. And here I've got him tied down. He goes, I'm allergic to them. I'm like, oh!
You're still going to kill him.
One way or the other. He survived despite no death.
My God.
Well, you know, sometimes you got a city medic, country medic. You got to learn these things. Who knew?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, if there's a light on in the country, there's a million bugs.
Yeah. And also I learned on a accident scene, never ask in the country, is there anybody here who's kin? Because everybody raises their damn hand. So sorry, I digress. I'm sorry, Shay. This is your show.
It's fine.
I mean, is it ever really a real show if we don't get a story?
Right?
No.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't told Chicken Breast's story before, so that'll be great. I mean, Atlanta and Nashville.
God.
His nephews are probably listening. So
He's like, yeah, that's Uncle Rick.
statute of limitations as well. So well, when you're out in the woods like that in a rural area, you were talking about battlefields. Do you? Because I mean, we've been on this earth a long time. We'd be foolish to think that pretty much everywhere is not a cemetery. How does that happen with you? Do you see people? Do you hear people?
Both. See, hear, feel, kind of all the above. Even to the point where, like, me and my daughter, when we're driving, like if we have to take a back road and we go through a lot of farmland, like for instance, if we're going from where I live here in Winchester to like Paris or Danville or somewhere where you can take, really Danville, there's no choice. You have to take a back road. There's not a good way there. We'll play Haunted or Not. And so if we pass by a property or like even if it's like a creepy tree or just something off, and I'll be like, okay, haunted or not, she'll be like, haunted. And I'm like, okay. And then we'll go by and we'll be like, not. Like, it's a game we play. Because she does a lot of the things that I do. But especially in some areas that are like you said, battlefields, or where there's been something happen of significance, I will see things play out almost like a movie. Not always in color. A lot of times it's in black and white. But I can see the events that happen. It's interesting on battlefields, though, because it's more than just one perspective versus kind of what you'll get if you're in a haunted house or something like that. You'll pick up on the main whatever. Battlefields, though, it's from everybody's perspective. So it can be a little dizzying until you kind of focus in on who needs what right then and there.
Wow. I never thought of it. It's kind of like you're tuning in a TV station, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It's almost like you flip the channels.
Wow. Now, are they, when I say they, I don't really know what to say. The entities, are they attracted to you?
People like me, or even if you aren't super strong in your gifts, I think some people are brighter than others. I kind of call us lighthouses or spotlights or hot spots. Like, yeah, they'll come out specifically because they know that someone's there who can interact or who can listen, or they might not know why, but we might look bright and shiny. Again, I wish I had all the answers to what it looks like on the other side. Sometimes I know it's darker, sometimes I know it's not. And then some of them, it's not the way you look. And I know this sounds strange, but it's the way you taste, your energy, your vibes, what you put out. Works the same way with people who are energy vampires, which is not always a negative term. Also, I'd like to say that. But yeah, if you just make them feel a certain way, they'll be attracted to you. It works the living and the past. Kind of works both ways.
Interesting. Now, do you have to, like, how do I say this? Do you have to like be given a like? And I do remote viewing, except I do it like the CIA trained way, where you're given a set of numbers and a target, and then you do it. I say mathematically, but you do it longhand. Do you have to have a target? Like, could I say, I don't know, talk to my dad in the past or something like that, and you be able to do that? Is that?
So yeah, I don't have to have a specific target. Like, even when I've freaked out a few people before that way, because I'll be describing like literally their childhood home down to like a lamp or the type of furniture, the kind of fabric they had on their bed, whatever it might be. I don't really know how I'm able to do that. I just know that I am. It does help if you have like if you're looking for something specific. If you give me a location, I don't need to see the pictures. If you just tell me what it is, I can kind of tune into it that way as well.
Wow. I would love to take you to my childhood home. That place terrified me as a child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
It's Alexandria, Virginia. So there's a lot of haunted things in Alexandria, well, Northern Virginia in general, DC. Yeah, the last night I slept, or I'll say I almost slept in my grandmother's house. I thought there was a thunderstorm or something when I woke up. I had an upstairs bedroom, and I woke up and I saw, like lights flashing, like lightning was outside, like we were having a thunderstorm. And I was like, okay. So I got up, go pee. I come out of my bedroom, make a right. Stairs are to my left. Don't fall down the stairs, dumbass. Another bedroom straight ahead, and the bathroom's to the right. So I'm standing there, taking a leak, looking out the back window, and there's no lightning out there. There's no flashes. There's no nothing. And I look in the mirror and I see this big dark figure that looks like, I don't know, Batman. He looked like he had a cape or in a hat or something. And the energy was coming out of him. And I'm thinking, there's two ways out of this room. That window, and I'm on the second story, or through him. Last night I ever slept there.
Yeah, sounds awesome. Let's go.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was or who that was, but it scared the living bejesus out of me.
I've already decided I am. Me and a lot of my friends are literally what you call the white people in the scary movies. We're like, hello, is anyone there? And literally like everyone else is supposed to leave. And we're like, oh no, hold on. This sounds fun. There was a noise. Let's investigate. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's me when we went to Weston. I'm just like, all right, let me at the front of the group. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lock me in the most haunted room. It's fine. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
And I'm like, come on, make something happen.
Oh, none of us are right. It's fine. We're all For all the good
And
country.
that's why we're here.
Yes, it is. This is why
I
I'm
would
starting the
rather be-
podcast for people like us.
I would rather be out in the woods with Bigfoot than have to deal with some entity like that. That just kind of.
Come on out.
Hey, I don't know. If I had stayed in that room any longer, it could have got a little kinky.
Well, and these things can attach to people too, correct?
Oh, I don't need that.
Sometimes, see, this goes back to me why I use those rocks.
Yep.
I don't have to think about energetically shielding, which I will do if I feel necessary. And I always have some sort of a shield around me, kind of like a force field, just because that's for my own sanity, and it's also to protect other people too, because I can be a lot energetically. I know I can. But yeah, I don't really like to see that happen. Have I had it happen to me before once or twice? Absolutely. Have I forgotten to do all the things that I normally do? You betcha, because it's 3:00 in the morning when I get out of these places sometimes, and I'm tired and my brain is not functioning on all cylinders. So yeah,
Homegirl's trying to get home and get to bed.
I'm just trying to find the closest place to die in the bed at. You're exactly right. So yeah.
Have you had anybody come to you and ask for your help? Because even in remote viewing, like I said, the longhand methodic way, we have to close the door too, so to speak.
Yes, I have. And sometimes I'll allow it. And sometimes I will actually ask or tell the person who, if it involves somebody that I'm actually reading, I'll be like, hey, so-and-so is saying this right now. I kind of close out each of my readings anyways, regardless of what happens, because that is forming, you are having like an energetic bond. You are kind of dipping into their stuff. So I don't ever want to damage it, take it with me, bring it home with me. Like, I'm not trying to have an extra anything, because I'm empathic to begin with, which most people are and don't realize it. They tend to take on the weight of whatever's around them, and they'll take stuff from people and not know they take it. I need to redo my car, but I do have my door to my house set up in a way that when I come through, nothing else except my stuff will come through with me. And that works for anybody who walks through my front door, because I'm not trying to pick up any extra crap in my house either, because I just, the last couple of years have finally gotten it quiet enough. Doesn't mean stuff doesn't come through occasionally. Like tonight, for instance, I thought the cat just made this loud ass noise, and it wasn't, because he's sleeping in front of me. So I'm like, all right, cool. There's a few residents that we have here that I do allow to stay 24/7 because they're not doing any harm. But to close stuff out, and that's one of the biggest things that it's almost a pet peeve of mine when people do like divination work. And this includes Ouija boards, this includes pendulums, this includes any type of session where you're reaching out to make contact with somebody else and you're opening yourself up to it. I don't care if it's the smallest little thing, you should always close it out. That is the mistake a lot of people make when they do any type of work like that. And that is my biggest thing. If I could say anything to anybody, close out your stuff properly. Say goodbye to everything. Do your prayers, whatever you got to do, but you got to make sure they know you are not coming with me.
Well, I was always taught to say thank you, and then I'm leaving now. You stay here, or something like that. I've got it written down. But yeah, that's how you say you have it at your doorway. I'm picturing like the Kmart fan that blows when you open the door. How do you do that?
I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Like, I have a Star Wars tattoo and everything. Okay, so I speak in comic book nerd a lot. Force fields, everybody knows what that looks like. That is how I picture my front door. It literally is certain colors for certain issues, but I have certain rocks and crystals and stones and other items above my door, so I can set it and forget it. Occasionally, like, once a month, I'll go through when I do my, blow the salt and the cinnamon and stuff through the doorway on the first of the month. I'll kind of do a refresh for some things, but I'm a lazy person. I'm a busy person. If I can set it and forget it, then I'm good. So that's kind of how I do mine, with salt and rocks and crystals and a few other talismans.
Interesting. Yeah. I noticed my wife has been putting, I think, amethyst in the windowsills. And I was like, why are you doing that? She's like, oh, I'm just doing it. Okay, I won't question it.
The only thing I got to say is make sure you're not using any type of crystal that's going to catch the sun and reflect it, because you can and will burn down your house that way.
Watch the Tower of Power.
Crystal balls and stuff, they always tell you don't leave these things near the sun because it acts just like a magnifying glass. So, words of wisdom.
Well, I did have a car fire that started with a water bottle. So it's very similar. So, yeah.
That's so scary, actually.
Yeah, because the fire marshal come out and was like, oh, yeah, that's water bottle started right. I'm like, what? And of course, by this time, it's all melted up and stuff.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Well, we had a forest fire in East Tennessee that was started by an old Coke bottle that was left up in the top of the mountain. I would have never guessed that.
No.
But
it's the perfect storm for that kind of stuff to happen, you know?
You're talking about storms. Shay and I actually looked it up during the hurricane that was coming up. There was a lot more poltergeist activity because of the violence of the storm. I was shocked to learn that.
Yeah, that's why when I was saying like storms and stuff do impact investigations. Yeah, poltergeists are that's a whole nother level of crazy when you open that box up. And I know some people who are practitioners of many things who will use the water from certain types of storms too, because of the type of mood, vibe, aggression, energy it will bring with it. So like hurricane weather, tornado storms, anything that has more of a violent tendency can stir up a lot of different things, not just poltergeist, but there's some other interesting activities. People will be a little more aggressive. People will tend to be a little more emotional. Just pay attention next time, especially if you have a coworker that you're like, what is wrong with you? Okay, we'll take a look at the weather, take a look at what's going on outside. It works on us and it works on the spirits.
Interesting. Did you notice anything with this hurricane? Any difference?
I will say that emotionally, there were a lot more people who were having issues, who were having a lot of, I don't want to say like flashbacks, but a lot of issues with the past, whether it's them thinking about past mistakes or just a life-changing event that happened. And I think a lot of people too, because of their level of concern they had for people in the path of this storm and the one before it, you were already kind of opened up and a little more on the emotional side, because I think a lot of us have, on this side of the world, we have a lot of people who live in those areas, up and down the South. So we were already on like high alert. We were already very vigilant about things and just waiting for something to happen. So that kind of puts you in a state of mind as well and makes you a little more sensitive to stuff. As far as like paranormal activity, I had a lot more people reach out about, again, past loved ones, people who had passed, not so much getting like a psychic reading, but wanting mediumship. So I think it kind of puts you in that state of nostalgia too. So those all kind of go hand in hand. But yeah, hurricane weather, I don't like it. Tornado weather, depending on the type of tornado is and the type of severe storm that comes through, I won't mess with it either, because I'm like, that in itself is already powerful enough. I do not need to get caught up in that.
I hadn't thought of it that way. And then, like you said, worried about the people on his path. And then in my case, I've got people that are on different task force going in right afterwards. So we're worried about them. So yeah, you project that energy out, not even intending to.
Mm-hmm. What you put out is what you get back. So that's why I'd be very careful what you let loose in the world.
Shay, you said we were going old school.
Do what?
You said we're going old school with the investigations.
Yes, we are. Well, the stuff that you've got, the stuff that I have as far as like equipment and tools, it's the beginner, the basic, the where we started from. Would I love to have some of this high-tech stuff, like the super cool things? Yes. Is it really expensive? Yes. But me and a lot of my friends and some other investigators will tell you the most amazing piece of equipment you have is yourself. So that's the number one thing I start with. What do you feel? What do you see? What do you hear? Like, I want to make it super easy for people to realize you don't have to have all the tools and the toys and things. You can just kick it old school. People, I'm not condoning this, but when people like, broke into old abandoned places or snuck in somewhere, like they don't have all that cool stuff usually. Way back when I first started watching like Ghost Hunters or Paranormal Lockdown or any of those beginner shows that started all this off for us that are like the best of the best, they didn't have all the fancy stuff. It really was just, we have a speaker and a recorder and a flashlight and maybe a K2. And, that's where we go from. I want to keep it very, very, old school. Start with the basics.
Yes. And for those wondering, we will have a Venmo page.
Because we would like some of the really cool tools, and some places are going to want us to pay to come and investigate and spend time there, because it will go to proceeds that benefit the restoration and keep of the historical spot.
Awesome. In your show, are you going to teach how to do some of these things too?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. Because they're not hard to use. And I think they can be intimidating for people who are not techie, which you're lucky I can get on this show half the time. Like I'm not good at it at all. My boyfriend will even tell you that. Yeah, I want to make it very easy for somebody else. If they want to go do this, like they see this and they're like, you know what? We're inspired. We're going to go check out my old family house or some spot somewhere. And, I want to make sure that they are comfortable enough to go do this on their own.
So not every show will have an investigation. We'll be discussing some things like this in the show as well.
Good. I think it's also, like you said, nice to go old school and learn. We even do that with Bigfoot, when we're out in the woods. So, and sometimes you get the best results.
Absolutely. I think we'll have a trigger object. We might have a bottle of, Jack Daniels sitting on the table and throw some cards down and be like, hey, what's up? One of my 52 K2s I've somehow managed to, I don't know, find in my possession now. Just the simple things like that. And then having good conversations and just laughter, all those kind of things, keeping it fun. There are times to be serious, and then there's times where it's like, you know what? We've been sitting in the dark for 3.5 hours and we've seen nothing except dust and a lightning bug. Like, you might not have all this stuff happen, but the moment you start lightening up the mood and remembering that you're here because this is something that's fun for you, that's when the things start happening. That's when the magic happens.
Hey, that Jack Daniels can make that lightning bug look fantastic.
Oh, honey. There's been a few times we've gotten trigger objects back at the end of the night, and I'm like, it's empty. Or, I had like half a jar of moonshine, and everyone's like, this is the best night ever. And I'm like, okay, I bet it is. Like, yep.
Well, it's the same with us out bigfooting. We basically feel like if we come back into the camp and we're just laughing, carrying on, have a good time, we're like their cable TV, so it attracts them to us. And that's how we've had I've had more activity in base camp things happen than I have out looking for them.
Yeah, locations I get to actually stay where I play, basically. It's the most random crap that happens at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning when we're trying to go to sleep. That's when we've been like, where were you earlier? And of course they're like, we don't jump on command. And I'm like, good point. I'll get humbled real quick. So, but yes, we have the best things happen then.
And you said something too, 3 a.m. There's a magic about 3 a.m. I don't know what it is.
There is also a magic at midnight. Everything gets quiet. Midnight rolls around, and I think a lot of it is that's usually when people start to get sleepy. Again, what the energy you're putting out is usually what helps them to be able to come through. Midnight, things get really quiet. Then about 2:33, things will kind of start back up again and be super active in a lot of locations. So they call it the witching hour, which that I think, and I'll probably get it wrong, but most people tend to wake up from their body's natural rhythm at 3:00 in the morning. And then people were assuming it was something devious was waking them up. And I think that's one of the things that a lot of people forget too. The body has rhythms and cycles. That's why a lot of us don't sleep through the night. We're not programmed to sleep 8 hours generally. So I call it the insomnia hour, where I get to sit there and pretend I don't scroll on my phone for 45 minutes and try to go back to sleep. So
Yes.
I know on duty, if the bell goes off at 3 a.m., something bad's going on. It's not just Granny's got a toe ache.
Right.
So that has been in my career 30 some years. 3 a.m. that alarm goes off, something bad's happening. So yeah, it's always been that way. And of course, I'm in fire EMS. I just don't sleep. So I've been programmed different. You know, we go into a lot of strange and crazy places too, and it's sometimes weird going into a house and feeling something is there, and you get a sick person you got to deal with, but knowing there's something behind you. So I've had that.
Yeah, that being watched feeling, or you just know that there's something there. I still get that. I don't care how many things I've done. Confession. I still run up the stairs, okay, when I turn the light out. I still do that. See, everybody, I know so many people that do it. I'm like, man,
Yep.
I've walked into some really weird places, but let me turn the light off in my own home that I know there's nothing there. I'm still running.
Don't know. You don't know.
Yeah.
It could pop up out of nowhere. You don't know.
Yeah.
They're hiding under the couch.
In theory, it shouldn't, the way I've got my house set up, but yep.
Oh man, if the bedroom door is open at night and I have to go to the bathroom, I will not look down the hallway. I will just pass on by straight to the
I don't do open
bathroom.
cloosets. I don't do open bedroom doors. I don't do crack in the window. You better get the blinds down, because this is not happening.
No, that's me. I'm like, okay, yep. Bedroom door's extra shut. All right, we're good.
Yep.
That
Jump
little
in
piece of
bed.
plywood's going to keep you safe.
Yeah.
It does my
I don't
brain
wanna
good. That's
see
all
it.
that matters.
Yes. If there's something there, I don't want to see it.
It can stand outside the door all at
Yes.
once, but just you stay out there, buddy. All right.
I got cold chills. See it.
Oh.
You flip the
Yeah.
light off, there's things there.
They're there during the day too. Just don't
I
see them.
I will not watch that movie Lights Out after I've seen clips of it. I'm like, oh God.
Oh, it was pretty good.
It does look good.
No,
Yeah,
that's
was
that's like my worst fear ever.
Oh gosh.
You flick the light off and then there's just something there, but you turn it on and it's not. Oh no,
Yep.
Jesus.
I've seen
no.
that multiple times. It
Oh
is
God.
creepy.
No.
It is
Yeah.
creepy. I am not afraid to tell people when I'm creeped out during an investigation or something. I'll be like, yo, this is a little more than I bargained for. So
I'm just I'm gonna head out now.
maybe we go to a different room. Like, yeah.
That's gonna be me, Shay. I'm gonna be like,
I have
Are you
been
sure
The,
you wanna
vi-
be here?
the vibes ain't vibing right now, everybody.
I've been used as a human shield before, and they're like, oh, send a psychic in there. And I'm like,
No.
we're the ones who die first in the movies, unless you're watching like 13 Ghosts or something. This is not like, no.
I need the glasses.
Oh my God. Mm-hmm.
What are some of the creepy things you've seen? If you don't mind sharing.
Things that have names, and then there's things that don't have names. I mean, being able to see things like this, since you remember when you're little and up until now, that's given me a lot of opportunities in a lot of different places. I've seen some really cool things, things that
Has
I
it-
can explain.
Has it been since you were younger?
Oh yes. Yep. 100%. Yep. My earliest memory of my bedroom and the haunted place that we lived at was with my little brother, who was about 2.5 years younger than me. So I remember stuff at his side of his crib, people and things.
It was
So
a woman, wasn't it, Shay?
pardon?
A woman? Did you
It
see
was.
a
It was an old woman. Old woman in a black cloak on the right
Yeah.
side of the crib at the foot of his
Yet.
bed.
Yet.
I've seen people, not people. I've seen entities, elementals, things that most people don't believe in. You know, fairies, elves. I mean, anything you can think of. I want to be like, yeah, the stories are all true. Legitimately.
Wow. All right. Well, I told you I wasn't going to keep you too long. So if anybody wants to find you, besides for your show, which I want you to plug right here too, where can they find you if they want to just hook up with you and talk?
So the new show, which is Two Broke Witches, which is really not far off from the truth, which is why I went with that name. You can find me on Facebook, on Instagram. It's Shay Smith, Southern Psychic Medium. My next event I will be doing is this weekend here in Lexington, Kentucky. I will be at Scarefest all 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you have not been, please, please, please find the time to check it out. It's one of the biggest horror and paranormal conventions in the U.S., which is also why I said 13 Ghosts. Matthew Lillard, who I absolutely adore, is going to be there this weekend, and I'm going to see if I can find time to get him to sign my copy of the movie. You can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram.
Lucky witch.
Just shoot me a message. I will try and get back to you as soon as possible. I'm very down to earth, so I don't ever want anyone to think that I'm anything that's above them, because like I said, I run up the stairs, man, in the dark. I'm no different than anybody else.
You can find Two Broke Witches by the number 2 Broke Witches on Facebook. Show starts on Monday at 9 p.m. We're so excited. I'll actually be in Nashville this weekend, so I will not be at Scarefest.
Oh.
Well, I told Shay, I was like, do your readings and stuff this year, and we're hoping to get a booth in like the big vendor section next year.
We will have a booth next year.
Yeah. So
I will do we'll be talking about that. I'll be doing readings this weekend. I'll be doing readings next year too. It'll be like a double tag team kind of thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Amanda will be down there choking somebody out.
That's fine. I'll be doing readings. I don't care as long as they're still breathing.
No promises.
I'm just the button pusher on this show for y'all. I am so looking forward to it. And it's going to be hard. I'm going to be a little screen down at the bottom and let you two have the big screen and do all the talking. But it's going to be so hard for me to not raise my hand. Wait a minute, I got a question.
Oh, no, you can definitely the man behind the curtain over here. Like, we got this. You can pipe in.
We'll just call you Oz. Oh,
yes.
Oz is chiming in.
That's it. Coming from the Tower of Power, or Power of Power, whatever. I don't know. Shay,
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you were able to come in. I know you weren't feeling well, so I appreciate you for sliding in at the last minute. Much love. And
you didn't throw up.
Nope, I'm going to wait till we turn this off, and then I might go have to do that.
Well, I'm glad we're here.
You feel better.
Yes, please get the feeling better. And I'm looking forward to it. We will see you in a couple days.
Yes. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Thank you, Shay.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
She's awesome. I love her. I may keep her for mine. So. Well, you know, we have a diverse audience and a diverse show, and I like to have all kinds of people on. And our next guest is an author, and he's written a book that, well, from everything I've checked out on, it sounds like it's one of these you must read books. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm probably going to make a mistake and call or pronounce your name wrong, but I'm just going to bring him out and let him introduce himself so that I don't do that.
Hi.
Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. The name is Machiel or Machiel. That's all right.
Okay.
And good morning from Amsterdam. It's 4 a.m. here, so it's a nice time for. It's a golden hour actually.
Holy
Oh
cow.
my goodness.
Well, gosh, I didn't know you were going to be that different of a time zone. I didn't. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. And it prevents me from waking up at 4:44. I just heard you talking about waking up in the 3 a.m. in the morning or that specific time. So that's all right. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I hope you got your morning coffee. So,
We'll get that.
or in my case, Mountain Dew. Well, Mickey is your publicist, and he doesn't work for us, but he sends us so many talented people. And he really talked about your book. And tell us about your book. And there's a story about how you got to writing the book too. I want to hear about.
Yeah, I just feel a bit out of place. I heard your previous conversation, of course, and I do have some experience in that field, but not to that extent. As a child, I didn't understand the world, so I was raised in a way that it was just easily to get just in my mind and intellect, and just leave out the sensitive part. So I didn't understand the world, and I wanted to understand life. Why were things the way they were? I was bullied at school. I thought saw on the news people killing each other, and I just didn't know why that was. So at 7, I thought, I want to understand the secret of life. I know that's very clear. But I tried to do that via intellect, so reading a lot of books, trying to understand religions, trying to understand the big secrets of the world, trying to understand paranormal activity, of course, reincarnation, alien life. And at some point, I checked them. I read over 2,000 books, and I thought, I maybe understand it, but I haven't experienced it. So I want to experience it, but how? And in the meantime, I have become an auditor, for God's sake. My father was an auditor, so CPA. I became an auditor. That's a total other way of the realm, of course, than being in this topic. And I was an auditor, and I became an entrepreneur. And I, at some point, had sold my business. And at some point, I know that I had to, when I sold my business, I had to stay in place for 3 years. And then I would become financially independent, because there was a huge sum of money after that 3 years. And after 1 year having sold my business, I remember I was in France. I had a holiday. I was just sipping a glass of wine. And I thought, okay, 2 more years, and then I can do what I want. And now I can go search for the secret of life. And just my heart, bam, and my stomach said, bam, no worry. If you want to do it, you got to do it now or never. Oh, if I'm going to do it now, I'm going to lose this sum of money. But my heart said, okay, your choice, now or never. And that was an easy choice. Of course, my heart is worth more. So I then started to, I stopped everything in my life. I was in a relationship for 24 years. I got rid of everything I had. And I said, okay, let's embark on this quest for a secret of life. And it took me 9 years to discover that I first was more the book that needed to be written before I could write it down. So for me, it was a personal journey, actually. And of course it was, that's the way it should be. But at some point, I got to the point that I thought, hey, now I had to experience what this secret of life is about. And I wanted to be able to explain that to myself, but to any other person, of course. So I had to write a book about it, and I want to be able to explain it to the most simple, let's say, to like when I was 7 or 8. And then I took it in the form of a novel. And this is a novel where a 13-year-old girl gets explained, or gets, let's say, taken on this quest for secret of life by her grandfather, and she has to experience it and discover it herself. And by doing so, this story took me into places where I've never been before. And I had some paranormal activities by doing that. And in the end, the story, I thought I had a story in my head that would go that way. In the end, it went all the other way around, but that way. And when I had finished it, no one wanted to read it, or no one wanted to publish it in the Netherlands, because I'm a nobody. So it was COVID time, and I thought, I want to get this book out, because it's my heart and soul in there. It's about a better world. It's about the secret of life. It's about feminine energy. It's about feminine leadership. It's about the future of planet Earth. So I had 2,000 copies printed myself, and I just distributed it in my neighborhood in the COVID time with a small note saying, oh, enjoy reading. You might be bored with this lockdown. And then I got so much response from people in my neighborhoods, hundreds and hundreds of them saying, this book finally explained to me how my childhood has happened, what my parents were doing, and how I understand my life. Well, that were crazy responses that I thought, okay, there's something in this book that apparently in the story that I experienced myself that needs to be spread out. And then, of course, at some point it got published and got bigger and bigger in terms of people reached. But yeah, for me, it was the story I always wanted to know myself when I was a child, and I didn't know it.
Wow.
Interesting. Now, when you say it took you places, are you saying to different parts of the world or just?
No, different parts in my in my head or in my body or in my experience. When I was 7 years old, when I became 7, my grandfather, he was the paranormal and esoteric guy. He was into astrology and other things. And I wanted he was painting really beautifully. He gave me a painting for my 7th birthday, and he said, there are 7 secrets in there for you, about you. And as a 7-year-old, what are they? What are they? I just want to know. But he said, okay, no, it's so early. You will find out in your life. So for a 7-year-old, it was a bit disappointing, but I forgot about the painting and I just put it away. And at some point, when I had this decision when I had changed my life 180 degrees, the painting just reappeared. And I didn't know still. I thought, well, there's a secret in it. But when I was writing my book, I could only write when I was just out of my head and opening myself up. So most of the times I would go out in the woods in a cabin and do nothing but just draw like the flower of life and the Merkaba and everything, like the sacred geometry. And at some point, what I drew resembled this painting by my grandfather, and I thought, okay, well, there's something in here. And I had started writing my book for a certain chapter. And then at a certain point, I just could talk with my grandfather. He passed away already, of course, a long time, but I could Q&A with him. I asked him, okay, what are these secrets about? What is this painting about? And he said, no, now you can decipher it. Are you not going to tell me? No, you got to decipher it yourself. So I was able to decipher it that night, 6 of the 7 secrets for myself. And then I got, for me, it was a great, crazy experience, because then my grandmother came in and my father came in, who had already seen. So I had a conversation with all my family. And I wrote a chapter that I never envisaged before, because it was about ancient pain. It was about ancestral pain. It was about pain that's being passed on from parents to children throughout the lifeline. And I was able to heal something there for me, but also for my whole family. And it was the whole air was just crazy. It was I could touch the air. That was one of my magical experiences. So that took me places where I've never been before, and that I was craving for, because I wanted to experience just that in my life. So it finally got me there.
Oh, that's amazing.
Wow. You say you were freehand writing, just basically what was coming into your head, you were just writing out? Is that? Yeah.
It was like, I had read Neil Donald Walsh, of course, his Q&A with God, and that's almost like, I remember thinking, I'm doing the same. But I know that once I get in my head, the things get to turn away. So I thought, don't think, and then I could continue. It was really, really like that. Yeah, freehand writing.
See, I can't do that. If I tell myself to don't think, I think even more.
How do you get out then? What do you do?
Oh, I even when I lay down at night, I can't hardly stop thinking to go to sleep. Like it just, that's when my brain goes, okay, what is beyond the universe? Like I go even deeper into thought at that point.
And then the whole night, or at just point, what is the tipping point? That's always my also interest. Where do you actually surrender? When does it settle down?
When I finally just pass out from being so tired.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, they say at
eventually I'm just so tired I fall asleep.
They say at night some people celestial travel. So
yeah.
So how was this feeling for you? Was it almost sounds like it was deeply religious.
Yeah, it was more like connecting with my ancestors. And the thing that got me from out of my head into really the energy experience were shamanic experience at first. And this was what I learned with that is that when you heal something yourself, you heal your ancestors, and you'll heal the ancestral line back to where it began, even if they're dead a long time, of course. And that's what I felt here. Literally, I was healing some old pain in my ancestral line from both sides that that I never knew before, but just became apparent and just became visible. And I was able to identify the pain, but really personalize the pain, saying that the pain was a person, became a person, became a soul, and my pain became my soul. And I could reconcile with it. I could hug it. I could recognize it. I could respect it. And I know that the pain literally said to me then, that's the nicest thing someone ever said to me, because nobody likes pain, nobody likes me. And then I said, well, that must feel incredibly lonely and hurtful. I said, yes. And it was such a crazy conversation, having a conversation with pain, but it was like twin brother, twin soul. And then when I finally was able to embrace it, I was able to maybe dissolve or transform into a different state.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Were you in
crazy.
a meditative type state, or
Yeah,
were
apparently.
you conscious?
And what you said, Amanda, it's like, trying to get out of the head. And what helped me was just drawing these geometrical sacred geometry figures, where apparently, in my case, you open something up, and it's always about how do you get into state meditative. Yes, you're right.
That's amazing that you were able to do that.
Can you still do that?
Sorry?
Can you still do that?
Yes, I can still do it, but like you, as you said, Amanda, once you try to do that, it's an anticipation. So it's with anticipation, it doesn't work. So if I do this, then that, no way. So apparently, you got to be in the state where you don't have any expectations, any anticipations, and then it works again. So it's harder to once the experience was there, harder to recall it again. Like, I wanted to experience this again. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, well, one of our viewers is asking a question. After your research and search for the existential and how it affected you, have you found that the realm we live in is one of multidimensional nature, with no time as no existent? I think I mentioned
that. Yes and no. In terms of I already conceptual, I understood that. I've never experienced it before. And so at that point, and a few points else, indeed, when things come together, like past and future, my experience was only in family line. And at the same time, I met my new love, my current wife, and we were trying to get pregnant or stay pregnant. And we had, I think, 10 miscarriages at some point. And we were being told, that was just really close to this experience. At some point, we were going to a very special clinic, and someone said, it's not going to happen, and you don't want to get pregnant, because if you want to get pregnant, you probably have a baby that's not worthy of living. And that was, for my wife, just at that moment, just for seconds, very, very sad news, of course. And at that moment, I just was a blanket was being put over me by what I now know is my son, because we became pregnant at some point, actually. He was just putting a blanket over me and saying, don't worry, I'll be there. I'll be with you, but the timing has to be right. And at that point, future and past indeed came together, because it was my ancestral line, and it was the next in line, and they all intertwined and combined. And that is maybe not the question you were asked in terms of how multidimensional is it, but I think, for me at least, if you try to explain things in multidimensional ways and time dissolving, I can conceptually understand and explain it, but the experience at that point was like, it's out of context, it's out of words, and then I think it's that experience. But then back in 3D life, trying to explain this multidimensional effect is a bit hard for me. I always like talking about non-duality. I think it's when you start talking about non-duality, you get the concept of non-duality and duality, and that's the contradiction at some point. So it's sometimes hard to do that, and some people are better in that to explain it or give a certain view to that. But sorry.
Yeah, that's a great case of multi-dimensional, I believe, where it was a blanket for you from him, but from another time. in the
Yeah.
future. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. That's so cool.
It was cool, and it was so amazing to feel that energy, that soul. For me, it was wow,
Right?
cool out there. Yeah.
Yes.
Were
And
you
did you
able to?
know, sorry,
Go ahead.
Glenn.
No, go ahead, Amanda. Go ahead.
Did you know at the time that it was your son, he told you, "I will be with you. I'm your son," when you felt the blanket?
That not the sun, but just the energy, the soul, because at that point I think the soul is still without any gender, or
Right.
it felt like, don't worry, I'll be there. It'll be
It
all
will
right.
happen. Yes.
Couldn't explain that
Yeah.
further, but yeah.
Right. But now you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always, in all my life, I want to be a father, and I always had it. When I changed my life, I thought now I can do things I really want. Like the point I said, at 2 years waiting time, I can do what I want. No, I had to do then. First one of the decisions was I went into shamanic experiences, and I went to Burning Man. Third of what would that be? I've never done any festivals or thing. It's not really a festival, Burning Man, of course, but it's like getting out there and getting experiences that you don't know they existed. And for me, the magical experience at Burning Man was there's this temple at Burning Man that is being built up every year and then burned down. I'm talking about Cosmic Burning Man. You know what it is?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. It's of course very much multidimensional in that way as well, but for me, it's just a spiritual experience. In the temple, there is room for everybody to express loss and sorrow for everything that's gone out of your life. So it's almost temple of mourning, but it's more than that. And I've never experienced it that way. And for me, I just was able to express at that point at a small wooden plate the message to what I called Lisa, my daughter, that I would never know in my life. I was still in my previous relationship, and I thought, well, I will never become a father in this life. And also at that point, I got a response straight on this wooden plate. Somebody else immediately wrote something on it, so a little heart, and say she loves you, be strong. And I just fell down crying for the first time in my life for I think 15 years, and I cried so loud that everything, the pain came out. And I know at that moment some people came to me, a woman came to me, and we just had an eye gazing experience for 1 hour. Also at that moment, I know this is maybe this soul that I'm talking about that I want to know in this life. So it was the yearning or the longing for embracing the soul and giving new life was at that moment present for me. That was an amazing experience. And when I met my new love, I said, and I told her the story. She said, we're going to make Lisa, we're going to make your and our daughter. And just at the moment before he was born, became true that he was a boy and not a girl. That doesn't matter, of course. But I had to call the protagonist in my book Lisa, because my daughter became at least alive in my book.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to ask, at that time when the doctors had told your wife the bad news and you felt that, was she able to comprehend your comfort? Did that comfort her, or how did she react to that?
She had just 1 day of real unbelief and sadness, and then she said, "Okay, no, this is not gonna be it. We're gonna get pregnant, and we're gonna be pregnant from a healthy kid." And for her, it was just so she was affected by that. Her mindset. She had to switch her mindset and do something to get into the heart of the problem or the issue and solve that. So it was the same indeed. It was kind of yeah, you're right. So it affected both of us, saying, okay. Apparently we needed to do this out of confidence and conviction, saying yeah, it's like manifestation already, feeling the sensation that it had already happened. But it's easy to say. I know a lot of people that went through the same situation, didn't get pregnant, or did, and it's every individual situation is of course very different in that way. But for us it was really a magical experience of being able to already feel, okay, this is going to happen, and we know that it will happen.
Wow. How old are your children now?
One boy, he's 4.5, and
Okay.
he's just spitting him as a copycat of me, and that's for me because we've been longing for him so long, and I think many people can relate to that. Many parents, it's magic. every day I can see the magic, and because I know he wasn't there for so long, for me it's just magic.
It is magic. Also, we have another question here. We got great questions tonight from the audience. In regards to the paranormal, I think I can best describe my understanding of multi-dimensions is that I fervently, good Lord, I'm going to have to use easier words, believe that much of the paranormal is not of this dimension, but of another. I guess he's asking your opinion if you believe it's of another dimension or...
Yes and no. It's about definitions, maybe. But if we talk about this 3D dimension, then definitely yes. But it gets into this dimension, so it's like something outer space coming into this space, or from any other dimension entering here. Only because we are caught in this, and it's called the physical reality, 3D dimension. But of course, spiritual, we can call it a different kind of dimension. But I heard your previous talk, and of course was also about entities and other spirits. And in my view, there's like this gateway. I'm not sure. Please let me know how you think of that. But it's the gateway in between. That okay, if you are really 3D person inside your minds, 3D is all there is. But you're being confronted in your life sometimes with situations that you can't explain, and there's this other dimensional world. Whereas once you have been in touch with that world, you know it's there. So then you become the bridge or the gateway yourself. So then you're connecting it, and then it becomes more fluid, and then they intertwine more. Like non-duality, I've been able to experience non-duality in a shamanic ritual. So then I just literally was there. And then I came out of it again. So I remember it was there, and I remember that it is true. But I cannot in a 3D state just get there. So there's like a gateway that you're able to either get this information or get this energy or this interaction as a 3D person. But once you become more advanced in it, like a medium, and also like you, Amanda, you're able to travel and easier get into different dimensions, I think. Isn't that what you experience?
I think so. I don't know if you heard me say I do remote viewing, and that's kind of the way I feel about it, is when you get into that, you can touch, feel, and see, and you could probably pass a polygraph to say you were there, you know, because it was that real to you, but you're still here. So yeah. He followed up with asking, I believe that aliens are simply a future derivative of us presently. They simply reside in another timeline or dimension, the same as skinwalkers and Bigfoot.
Nice one. What I found for myself, and of course it's a personal experience, is that, and that's what this book is about, and The Secret of Life, is that the world is my mirror. So what my senses do is they're not perceiving the world, but they actually projecting the world. I can conceptually understand that, but I cannot master it like someone really advanced that's able to master, manipulate energy or manipulate really matter, 3D matter. But if you get to the state that you are able to see that the world is a mirror, then everything is a reflection of yourself. And that's also a shamanic rule, that everything you see, everything you dream about, everything in life is a representation of yourself. And just you are always interacting with yourself. Like in this conversation, either I'm having this conversation with three other Machiels, and Glenn, you're having this conversation with three other Glenn. So it's that's a wonderful way of looking at it. And then if you look at Bigfoot, Skinwalker, or entities, there can be a question: are these representations of myself? Can I interact with them, or are they really other entities? And I think the same goes for aliens. I think that there's a way of interaction that you can relate to them, but even come into them. But only my experience with UFOs has been very limited, but feels like that's just also entities just from really different location, but really in 3D. So I think there's lots of subtlety to that, and that really depends on your own experience, how you deal with that. And I think that's what life is about. There's no hard truth. It's your own truth. It's your own perception of reality, your own personality. And then what I liked from Neil Donald Walsh about what he wrote when you die, what his interaction with this God entity was, saying, when you die, things happen that you expect to happen. So there's a whole realm of there's not an A to B. You die and then you come into this realm, but there's a whole plethora of possibilities, because the possibilities are endless, and you are actually consciously or unconsciously steering them. And that was, well, I think that was really, I found it really impressive.
Interesting. Yeah. There's an author, Dr. Quantum is his nickname. And he says that you should always plan ahead and go to the correct light. And
Wow.
I found that was, he ended his book talking about quantum mechanics, quantum physics, and life. And he says at the end, plan ahead and know, otherwise you're going to end up somewhere you don't want to be. So that's kind of what you said. And as Salty pointed out there, one of our viewers, the world is my mirror is an exceptionally profound statement. Yeah, that's true. Well, surely also you've had to experience, there's got to be some great evil too out there.
Yeah. And that's I think a very hard topic, because if you are indeed experiencing evil in that something really hurtful is being done to you, I haven't experienced it in that extremity, so I'm blessed by that way. But I know many people have been hurt in that way, or really hurt. And then I always learned that you cannot determine anything for someone else, so you only determine for yourself, and then you can express that. So if I say life is your mirror, that's easy to say, even if especially if you're blessed enough to have not had any really adverse or bad experience in life. And I know from a lot of people that went through really bad and adverse experiences that they acknowledge that point at some point themselves. But you can only do that for yourself. I think you can never tell anyone, hey, you got to look at it that way. So evil, maybe like these entities, is also a reflection of ourselves. And of course, we as humanity, as humans, are able to, if you're a meditative state, one person, you change the world already. But if you meditate with 100 or 1,000 people collectively worldwide, or greater group, things happen. So we collectively manifest that as well. So I think evil is a collective manifestation of our fear, which is in our 3D state, of course, being not supported, but extended or amplified by other forces. But it's evil looks like the mirror of fear, and the only thing I'm not really mastering, and I'm mastering not a lot of things, but I'm so it feels like it's not fair. It feels literally unfair that fear attracts like a magnet. So if you're scared, you're attracting these things. You're attracting potentially entities that may be a reflection of yourself or not. But once fear kicks in, it amplifies. And I always found that very unfair. So how can you get out of the state of fear? It's like getting out of your mind, get back to your heart. But that's, I think, a topic, and that's when you talk about evil, also something. Fear apparently attracts evil, but I'm not sure what your experience is in that way, or Amanda.
I agree, definitely. I think, what you put out, like we were saying before, what you put out is what you get back.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah, is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah, Jay, what's your experience with that?
No, it's very much the same way. You put positive things out, you get positive things back, and you, especially when you're, setting your intentions for things, you have to be very clear for what your intentions are, and it typically comes back that way.
Mm-hmm. And then still, it can be so unfair. A lot of people that are just golden hearts, and they are being struck by life in certain ways. You think, why?
Sometimes I wonder if I was put here on Earth to experience everything,
Mhm.
you know, because, almost died. I've had several miscarriages.
Wow.
Um, just so many things have happened to me in my life. I'm like, what's next? Like, I've been put here to experience everything, so what's next?
Okay.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yeah. Yes. I through this experience of being in touch with my parents, grandparents, ancestors, my son, and this connection, I conceptually already as a child knew that it was true, but I never experienced it that way, and I was able to experience in that way by getting back to people who had died and seeing them in a different shape. Um, but I think like again non-duality, all these concepts have so many facets, so many dimensions that by explaining them, we're only touching bits of it and trying to explain them in 3D in our 3D nature, in our 3D reality. We only get bits and pieces of it, and the whole let's say thing that we know once we pass away and get into the other states, then the whole options, possibilities are so much more than we can even conceive or think about, because it's that everything is unlimited in that way. So the concept of going into another body again and the potential of karma or resolving things that were in your past lives, or indeed as a soul you enter this life again and you predetermined, like you did, Amanda, of course unconsciously, I want to experience that and that and that. Whereas as a human being, you say, "Oh no, please not again." But as a soul, apparently, that's what your soul wants to experience. So yes, I not only believe in, I know that it exists, but that's my reality, that's my truth, of course. But I think we all, in this case, in this setting, pretty much all agree on that. And of course, there's so many documented cases of children who remember things that were able to be related to actual events in the past. That it's actually quite strange, of course, why people would not believe in reincarnation. Even was, of course, there's literally evidence that the old scriptures and, of course, the Bible had it all in there, and at some point it was taken out because it was not really that what the people in power wanted to have people believe. But yeah, sure.
Wow. Yeah, I had a psychic medium on my show, and he said, "You have relived," I think he told me, 33 lives. He says, "You're sitting here each time for a purpose. Until you get it right, you don't go to the next level." And I was like, "Gosh, I must be a slow learner if I've been here 33 times."
I wonder about that too. I wonder, like, what if, like, we don't die until we know the magic word or the magic passphrase, and once we figure that out, that's when we die.
Yeah.
And then we start over again.
But also, that feels like you're in school, right? You have to pass the exam to get to the next level.
Yes.
And to me, that feels not right. I think that's not the case. I think we don't have to learn anything. We don't have to remember, because every cell in our body knows all. But we are not able to get to that level of knowledge or experience until we have had some experience ourselves. So my worldview is that not that we need to learn anything, but can decide to re-experience or do some experience again and over again for certain reasons, but not by learning and passing the exam, but just by different reasons that cannot conceive. And of course, we only know that for our experience, we're only here now. So this 33 times, and that's well, yeah, maybe that's just nothing on the scale of the bigger thing. I'm not sure.
Like I said, I'm a slow learner. Salty, one of our viewers, says, "I believe we are all currently reincarnated in another timeline. We're living past lives right now in another dimension, as well as our future lives." And prior to that, he had asked if, let's see, he understands your belief in individuality, but the power to manifest. Do you have the concept or how or believe that we are all of one consciousness?
Yeah. That's my conviction, truly, that we're all one. And that's what I tried, not to get back to this book, but what I tried to explain, because it was one of my experiences myself, that I was able to experience at some point that I could be, of course, you can logically explain to anyone that no matter, it depends on where you were born and with whom you were born. You could have been anyone in this world, but could have, and maybe would have or should have, that becomes different. Then it becomes a bigger concept, saying, okay, maybe I have been everyone in this world, or maybe I can relate to this like namaste, the divine spark in everyone, and recognize the divine spark as being just the same spark that I have. And I think that's the true meaning of namaste. And of course, it's being practiced that you recognize yourself, you recognize the other person as being one. And if we can do that one-on-one, we should be able to do that as a world population. Of course, there's current activities that don't allow us to do that. But yes, I can only imagine, I can only experience that we're part of one consciousness. But again, then I think this consciousness has so many layers and levels and so many dimensions that the one becomes infinite again. And that's what I like so much about the universe and the atom, that the smallest part of the atom seems like the representation of the whole universe. The infinite is the smallest finite, and they all are related, and it's just a continuum where we go through. There's no start, there's no beginning, no end, and it's all a continuous cycle. And then conceptually, my mind just starts to fade away. I cannot get that further, but it cannot be different than that we're all one. Of course, that's my conviction. But how that is, I like to have this concept of the biggest and the smallest being interrelated, and they all, it's a big cycle or the infinite shape that's we never get out of, at least not in this part of life and in this conceptual 3D reality.
It's almost like when you have a mirror on each side of you and you see a million of you going down through there.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. That's
I was going to say, you realize you just described quantum mechanics, quantum physics. I mean, literally, that's my definition of it. They're asking, what is the name of your book? Obviously, we want you to get that out there. So go ahead, tell us about your book too. Where you can find it. Tell us all about it.
It's called The Girl Who Changed the World. It's available everywhere on Amazon, of course, and some bookstores will have it in America as well. It's about, of course, this girl is my daughter, but it's not about me. It's really about quantum mechanics explained in a nutshell, to experience the fact that everything is related, and then to get to the namaste effect of saying, how are we related to everyone in the world? Then getting to the old pain and the ancestral pain and how to solve it. Then to get to the secret of life, of being whatever you think of it, because the story explains in a certain way that it's still open for your own interpretation. And then it is about this girl and her grandfather, and this grandfather is a wise man, but he's not really living his preachers. He's not walking his talk. She knows that, and at some point confronts him with that, and what follows then is a catharsis for him. But she is like the feminine energy in our world that is pure and that is connected to her own intuition, why she's able to see what's wrong with her grandpa saying the things that he says, because he's made some mistakes, or he did some things in his past that are not aligned with that. And for me, I think what I feel as part of my life or soul's mission is that I think we are already in this three-dimensional reality in a state that we for millennia have been living with this imbalance of feminine and masculine energy, where at some point the masculine energy was able to take control, become out of control in terms of the balance, and has ruled our society or world for millennia, advantaging the masculine aspects, disadvantaging the feminine aspects. And you can talk about men, women, but it's also of course the energy that's out of balance. So what I feel, and what this story is also about, a call or to action to call it easy women, but if you in this setting we can call it, of course, feminine energy, to stand up and rebalance again. Because as a man, I have an observation that men in our society are able easy as a group to empower each other and I'm curious, Shay and Amanda, on your view on that. And women are generally able to depower each other as a group. And and maybe you're not, and I think you're not. You're not, because once you come to a certain level of self-awareness, it's different. But the majority of feminine energy, in my perception again, is able to depower each other, and that's keeping the feminine energy more or less powerful against the masculine energy. We need to rebalance it. The system needs to be rewritten. We don't need to get 50-50 men, women in boardrooms, etc., because the rules of the game are still the masculine rules of the game. We need to restart and reset those rules, the whole system, before we get into a real balance. And I would love, because that's my preference, but to get to a little even more, to get to a certain matriarchy, because in my perception, and that's also what yin yang is about, the masculine energy is the foundation that supports the feminine energy to create. The masculine energy is in service of the feminine energy, and in our world it's totally upside down. It's the other way around. But I'm curious to your views on that, Shay and Amanda.
Yeah, that's definitely right. You're
Yeah.
spot on. Yeah. Women are more likely to tear each other down, and that's not helping at all.
No.
And then for men to always be on top, even in the workforce still to this day. I mean, it's 2024 and it's still that way. And so, yeah, you're definitely spot on.
And I get almost angry by it, because we know that feminine energy is much more powerful than masculine energy. Like Lilith, the ancient energy is also capable of big destruction, of course. But why is it that this much more powerful energy is actually depowered, and what is necessary to make that change? And I think, of course, the yin and yang, with the feminine energy with the small part of masculine energy, I think there lies the answer, or lies, I'm not sure about the answer, but there lies an interesting part. What needs to be ignited into the feminine energy to reawaken that energy? I think, of course, and I think we can all relate to that. We lived in times where we were all, of course, we've been all, you're women now, but Glenn and I, we've been women too, of course, and we've been experiencing the witch hunts. We've been experiencing other types of suppression and being killed for being a spiritual being, in different time frames, in different parts of history. And that collective history and that collective maybe pain is what is keeping the feminine down, or is like, if you it's like we need to heal those wounds, and transform that energy and get back to the level where there's real balance. And I'm not sure what's necessary for that to happen in our world, but I'm still trying to get to that. If I ask women, do you prefer to work in a group in your business or in your company with 10 women or 100 men? 85 or 90% chooses for the man, because I say it's harder to work in a group of women than in a group of men. And I would like to see the other way around. I would like to see femininity and that's of course masculine and feminine, but women thrive and get to the level where we get to the real balance, because that's the only way our future on this planet Earth is sustainable.
I think women feel threatened by other women.
Mm-hmm.
I think that men are also very threatened by the femininity.
Yeah, sure. That's the fear, because that's what caused the suppression.
And they, I feel like for a woman, if if there's a more masculine bit of things, we're more likely to grab a hold of that and accept it, whereas it's not the same with men. And I don't even necessarily think that it's women who are more likely to put other women down. I feel like at one point, yeah, but I feel like we have gotten to a considerable point where we are more likely to lift each other up, but I don't see that same thing going for men.
I think a lot of it has to do with, like, our image, because women are supposed to look a certain way, and we don't always look the way people expect us to look. Like, I have a lot of tattoos,
Look a certain way, act a certain way,
weigh a certain amount,
Yeah, we should get rid of all that.
be the mothers and be the housewives and
work and so yeah, it's really hard. It is.
Yeah, I'm looking
but
for that change.
I think we have reached a much better point though of, women being like,
yeah,
oh no.
Mhm.
But I think that needs to be accepted more on a men's side, that if you have feminine things you like or more feminine tendencies on things, it's fine.
Sure. That's totally
Amanda
true.
drives a big, huge, jacked up truck. So she don't care.
No, it shouldn't
I
be.
drive a Subaru.
We shouldn't, there you go. No, you shouldn't care. We shouldn't care, of course. But what I think is that how is it, and that's just a thought. How is it possible that women, mothers, allow men to send their children, the souls, the human beings they gave birth to, into war to be slaughtered? How do they allow anyone to be killed and slaughtered in that way? We are being, in this 3D reality right now, especially, of course, torn in a way that a lot of man groups saying, okay, we got to fight the other one because they're wrong, we're right, and the other one saying the same things. We need the overarching power or overarching energy that's able to step above that level and say we need to heal and we need to reconcile ourselves because we're all human beings. And the only energy that's able to do that's feminine energy. That's call it mother energy, but I don't want to combine feminine with mother per se. But on the male the male and masculine energy level, it won't work. We won't get there. So we need the higher level, and we need to step from the invented conflicts to a level where we reconcile. And that's easy to say as a concept, but it's how do we do that?
In a point where you say like reconciling there, I feel like if men took a step back and took that feminine energy from that, they'd be more likely to reconcile on things than just continue to
kill each other.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. A thought that came to my mind as a paramedic, I've unfortunately had many people perish in front of me. And I can tell you one of the things 99% of the people do before they die is they ask for their mother. So I think the word you were looking for is not feminine healing. I think you were looking for the word motherly healing more than anything.
Wow. I can imagine that indeed. I was maybe careful with that because I don't want to have the stigma of feminine and women with mother energy, because it's not necessarily maybe the same, but I fully understand everyone. Wow, that's an amazing way that you discovered that. It's like really longing for that energy when you're, of course, that's when you're born, and then oh wow.
Yeah, whether they're 19 or 90. I mean, it's I've seen it time and time again. There's two people use it usually, but Mama and Jesus.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, I don't know. That's just my observation, and it's unfortunate I've had that observation, but it's part of the job.
Wow. How do you deal with that yourself?
Well, at first I bottled it up and kept it all in, and that was unhealthy. And then after I realized that I wasn't invincible, and I'm not saying that in a sarcastic way, like I was Superman or anything. when I let that energy, when I realized that something happened, I was injured on the job. It came out of me all at once. I mean, it literally poured out of me all at once. I can't describe it to you. In fact, I'm surprised. I did it in the presence of a doctor, and I'm surprised he didn't have me committed at that point. But he was an orthopedic surgeon, so I think I was good there. But no, it once, like I said, I used that word like I had a cape or something on, but you almost have to protect yourself in a way. And once I realized that was done, that part of my life was gone, it just all poured out. And it's been very difficult since then to deal with. It's an ongoing process I'm still learning, which is one of the reasons I started this show, to interview people like you, hoping I can find my answers to the meaning of life. And I'll say this again, and I know my listeners probably get tired of it, but before, I was attacked by a dog on duty, and right before I got bit, like I said, I was a slow learner, keep that in mind, there was a voice in my head that said, don't get bit. And on the front porch where I was walking up to, there was little tiny dogs, and I thought I could kick those dogs away. I wasn't worried about data clear. The next time the voice screamed in my head, don't get bit. Once again, I didn't listen to the voice in my head, and I got bit and attacked by a pit bull. So part of what you're saying is you're searching for the meaning of life. And that's one of the things that sparked me was, what is the meaning? First off, what was that voice in my head? And then what is the purpose of everything? And so, yeah, that's what sparked all this. I mean, you get the show and then me meeting these lovely ladies.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
And they have put me in therapy. No, they run this show. And some of our comments back have said that there's no doubt that the women are divine and mystic, and they would pick a woman in the workplace over a man, and that a lot of women do have more stamina than men. That is very true. So, yeah.
And patience.
I am not one of those patient people.
Well,
it depends on the scenario for me.
Yeah. I'm like the girl from Willy Wonka. I want it now.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You can't have the nut cracking squirrel.
If you had to sum it all up in your experience, what would you say the meaning really was? I know I'm asking you to put your whole or is. I'm asking you to put your whole book in 2 minutes. I guess what is it? That's not exactly what I mean, but what is your feeling as to what the meaning is to you?
We live in a kind of Alice. We don't like Alice in Wonderland. This is a wonderland, and despite everything is so solid, everything is possible apparently. But it starts with the simple steps, and of course, once you've taken those steps, like I think you all did, it becomes, you go to the more let's say advanced or complicated steps. In all recognizing how everything is related. That's the quantum mechanical part. I think that's the basis to understand that everything is so related that no matter what you do, there is not a consequence, but a counteraction to that. What you put out, you get back indeed. So as above, so below, as within, so without. So it's
karma.
All, yeah. And then karma becomes like you get it back. But at some point, apparently, we start this life with a certain program, like you said, Amanda, with what do you want to experience? And sometimes those are not, many times, of course, those are not the experience that you would prefer once you're in this body, saying, okay, well, do I have to go through that again? Yes, you do. You get bitten by a dog, you get miscarriage, you get everything on your plate, and you think, why? And it's not about you. It's about how you deal with that. Of course, it's about how you overcome them. And the karma apparently also at some point you make arrangements with other people that do things to you, because that's part of the setup, and in that way those people don't get maybe the bad karma because they did you a favor. But in our 3D reality, it sounds like there's the villain and the victim. But apparently they're not that black and white in the overarching realm. But to summarize it, Glenn, I would bring that towards the world as your mirror, and that gives both endless possibilities as well as endless responsibility. And the responsibility is, of course, that everything you do is reflected to you in a certain way. So you have the power, and everything then becomes like, in my view, a dream, where dream and reality become the same. And what I every day, based on what I learned myself in that way, experience is that I look everyone in the eye that I meet, and sometimes it's easier than other times, of course, but I'm looking for that divine spark, the namaste, the reflection of that divine spark, the oneness, the one consciousness in the other person, to feel related to feel connected to it, to feel that it's all part of one. But it's easier some points and some days than other days, of course.
Sure.
You gotta feel for the vibe.
Yeah. The vibe and the connection, the flow, all words. The feeling that you're that you're not alone, or that's also the conception of it. If we're all one, then we're all alone. Then it's one. So there's this atom against the universe, the biggest and the smallest. We're all one, but we're all and infinite. And that's mind-boggling. That what I learned from that of course there are 100 times more stars in the universe than in the known universe than there are grains of sand on Earth, and those like numbers become so startling that the infinite or the biggest is so overwhelming that there's no way that anything can be conceived, can be grasped by the human minds. But at the same time it can, because we're also infinite. Every cell in our body has all the knowledge that's available in the universe, and that feels like it's impossible. But the biggest and the smallest are the same, and masculine and feminine is the same, and it's different again. It's contraction, expansion all the time. It's the heartbeat of life. It's magic.
Yes, I agree.
It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And then one last thing before I let you get out of here, I always ask, do you have any paranormal or spooky stories to share with us?
Not spooky. First, I'm sorry for that. I heard you talk about a lot of things before. I thought, well, I'm not able to do it, but I said that I was yearning for the experience of the things that I conceptually could grasp in my life. And once I realized that I was able to get those experiences, I realized that I have had them all my life before. Of course, it's like not knowing or not just noticing the woman with the lantern along the road. So that gets back to these experiences of when my grandmother died. She just came to say goodbye to me in the dream, the night she passed away. But that's a small thing, of course, compared to, let's say, the spooky parts. I've done remote viewing. I've been trained in remote viewing myself as well. And for me, the overwhelming experience were the first time that you were able to really spot on view something. But that's not spooky. So for me, there's all the experience of everything, the confirmation that it's all related, and that's all, everything is connected. Those are my experience in that way. And I think that goes for everyone in their life, having this experience. It's like your voice in your head saying, don't get bit. Don't get bitten. There is a connection already. You know that that the future and the split second before that come together. So you know everything, but it's how you get this information into your system and make it conscious. That's, I think, the daily game we're playing.
Yes, absolutely. Man, you have been a great guest and gotten deep at the same time.
Thank you.
It's given a lot to think about.
Well, thank you.
Especially 4 a.m. your time. Goodness.
Yes.
It's still dark outside,
Yeah.
but it's nice. It's a golden hour. It's great to be awakened, and I really enjoyed it so much. And I really thank you, Glenn, for what you do, because what you do helps a lot of people in life, in their search for meaning, like you. Wonderful.
Yeah. Well, thank
And
you.
Shay and Amanda, how
Thank
you work
you.
together that way. Wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, one of our listeners says that he's very jealous of you that you get to live in Amsterdam, and he's stuck in the swamps of the Carolinas, South Carolina. So,
Ooh, well, the swamps here as well, but I'd love to swap some points because the swamps of South Carolina sound very attractive as well.
Yes.
beautiful parts, beautiful parts.
Yes.
Thank you for getting up so early and coming on. Go get your coffee and sit out front. I don't know what the weather's like there, if it's sit out front on the front porch weather or not, but
No, it's awesome. But thank you for that, and thank you for doing what you do, the three of you. Wonderful. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
thank you. And I'm good. I would like to have you back sometime. Oh, do you plan on writing another book, by the way?
Of course, it's almost it will get out next year, and of course, it's much more about feminine and masculine coming
nice.
together, working together. So yeah.
Well,
Okay.
then just go
Ready
ahead and
for it.
project it out there that you're going to come back on our show. So
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I would love that. I would love that. At 4 a.m., please. Yes.
I'm so sorry about that part.
No,
of
no,
it.
no. I like it. I like it. It's different. It's good.
Well, have a great day, sir. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
Glenn. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Oh,
Wow.
he's
Wow.
amazing.
We got deep in that, did we not?
Wow. I love it. I mean, those
was
really
great.
are the things I lay and think about at night when I'm trying to go to sleep. And he just explained it all.
Yeah. Salty
just-
Dog says he is educated. Prospecting says great show. Of course it was a great show. Let's
And
do
thank
some-
you. And thank you, Salty, for being appropriate with the guest.
Yes, thank you, Salty. For we'll wrap real quick, but we won't leave. Want to thank WDJY and WRFN Radio Free Nashville, of course, Radio Fairfax. Then we're also on the air in Los Alamos, New Mexico, and then down along the beautiful coast of California. So we want to make sure to thank all of our viewers there. And we want to remind them to come over and find us on YouTube. We really need your support. Find us under the Sport Cat shows. Please like, follow, share, and subscribe. You can join in the chat like you hear us having a conversation with our chat. They were good tonight, and we appreciate them. We love them. But thank all of you.
Wendell,
All right,
go away.
now we can do. Now we can have our little bit of
Jesus.
downtime. That really was a great show.
It was.
And
I can't make it one show. Not one show.
what happened? What did I miss?
Nobody's doing jumping jacks at 11 o'clock at night.
Oh.
Make it one show.
Lynn, do you want to do some jumping jacks for somebody?
You know, I had got the groceries off the front porch today and threw my back out and was winded. So
Lynn's not doing jumping jacks either for you. Sorry.
well, you know what? They might want to tune in Saturday to the Misfits because Shay's going to have a night off with us. Amanda, I can never talk her into coming over on the Misfits. You really need to one night with Aaron. Aaron will be with us. So her feminine energy will be bitch slapping me. So
I will not be there Saturday, remember?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're gonna be there. So maybe they can talk her into doing jumping jacks, or she can cuss them out too. One or the other. I don't know.
I mean, she'll probably give you like some.
I'm guessing it depends on how much moonshine she's had. So
Fair.
Is that what she drinks?
well,
But she's usually got a nice glass of wine, so
when she comes on our show, she said she needed moonshine. I'm not really sure why, but and so since Cheyenne's going to be out, me and Aaron are going to be running the show. Amanda, you're more than welcome to come over. I know that your husband doesn't like it, but you're welcome.
I'll be in Nashville.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So, well, you can send us a message in the chat. I'm thinking that yes, Chris is correct. You will be greatly missed, but she's got
I'm trying to save lives. I'm trying to save lives, Chris.
Yeah, she's going to the dark side. I'm thinking that the idea I want to have is,
yes, I've now become a Sith Lord.
The holidays are approaching quickly. How does a misfit prepare for the holidays? That's what I'm thinking. That we have
I'm already on Santa. Edition. I'm already on Santa's naughty list. So,
well, yeah, I'm pretty sure for sending me the power of Tower that may have pushed you.
Hey, that was with love.
I know, and there was a card in that said "with love," blessed with love, or charm, or something.
No, it said "Happy Birthday, Gramps."
Well, it did say that, but then it said that all crystals were blessed with love or something. Yeah. So Tiffany got to blame it first. So you saw the picture I sent out. I sent that picture out in the family chat on Signal. I was like, all right, which one of you?
Which one of you fuckers?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, for the record, I didn't know it was going to come in the little case that it came with. So I was like, oh, that's really nice.
That kind of makes it, actually. To me, that makes it. You can make out all the fine, veiny details.
Yeah.
Of the Tower of Power.
Hey, they didn't have Bumblebee Jasper, so I went with the Tiger's Eye. I could have just got you the solid black onyx one that I thought about getting you.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
That's bad vibes. Tiger's Eye I thought is good vibes. So.
It's protection, yes.
Yeah. So you give me protecting penis. What more could a man ask for?
You needed a protective VBC.
Apparently you know me when I go out of state. So Lord have mercy. What am I going to do with my misfits? I love all of y'all. We've had a great show. This has been a real, some shows I come back to and I listen. I'm like, these are really good. But there's some of it. That will probably make California and New Mexico. I'm pretty sure that'll make the cut. So in Denver,
you should show everybody your Tower of Power again.
Why you just
not everybody here?
Yeah, we have more people here.
I don't know how many people we got here, but I hope they all like, follow, share, and subscribe. It's a very
intricately detailed phallus.
Yeah, it's
Is it? What's the wrapping covering it? Is it glass?
It's like a plastic. It expands.
It's just a frame.
Okay.
Yeah, and it protects it.
I've got one of my challenge coins in one of those.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you can put something in it, and then that part expands out.
Yeah. Let's see here. Logan, thank you. Please like, follow, share, and subscribe, Logan, if you haven't already. And Salty, you did ask some great questions, and to answer your question, Saturday she will be here. And it is protected in some type of plastic. I assume it's latex. So
I told him to rub it for luck, but he wouldn't.
There are some things. I'm gonna find my voices, and I'm gonna make a promo that says, coming to you live from the Tower of Power.
Please do.
That's fantastic. You have to do that.
Can I do it here? I don't know if I can do it here or not. So hold on a minute. Let me look this up. See if I can.
No, I need you that needs to somehow work together with Coast to Coast and around the world.
Coming to you live from the Tower of Power. Lay your hands on it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna turn now. Hold on,
What the fuck?
Gwen, are you on mute?
You're muted.
Yeah, you're muted.
Oh my god.
Oh, so I have to have this. Hold on, let me do this to Travis.
This is making me very uncomfortable.
Coming to you live from the Tower of Power.
That's a good one.
Gentlemen, you're going to be healed. Place your hands down upon it and feel the power of the tower coming out.
Oh my god.
I can't wait to hear that.
Oh my god.
Because
That's perfect.
I could. It was such a delay. It sounded like I was having a stroke.
Oh, I can't.
Well, Salty, I think
Place your hands upon it.
It sounds like Megatron, Logan.
Feel the power of the tower.
You gotta caress the balls of power.
Oh
No,
my
there's
god.
no caressing. No, you lay your hands. Feel the healing power, brothers and sisters.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna need bigger boots for this shit.
That's the first time I think I've ever heard Amanda cuss.
Oh my god. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, you've created a monster. So,
Oh.
that wasn't Megatron. That was Odin and narrator voice. So
Oh god.
You can do that too, Shay. Through your
Oh
song.
Jesus.
Yeah, she wants the power of tower, or the tower of power too.
Who's to say I don't already have one? Thank you.
You just haven't shared. Yes,
I do. That's why I can't be on here on Saturday nights.
She doesn't lay her hands upon it. She lays her body upon the tower of power and feels it. I'm going to go straight to hell. I know it. You might want to see a doctor about that. I'm just a paramedic, but you might want to see a doctor about that.
Oh God.
Here's done. I'm needed elsewhere now.
Oh, that would have been the perfect time for the Cartman one.
I got so many of them, but that's great.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right.
You may have created a monster.
I need an aspirin.
And if our guest is listening back, he's going, what did I do getting on that show? Why did I ever sign? If Mickey's listening, he's like, that's it. We're canceling all
Oh, God.
Oh. I know they're going to be like, Amanda said shit. It's over.
That's it.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
That was a golden 2 minutes he had. So.
Chris has the shock face. Amanda said shit.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
It was my fault. All right. So let me pull the calendar up here real quick and see. So yeah, I think we're gonna do Misfits Holiday Edition if that's okay with you, Cheyenne. I know you won't be here, so you can mail me some ideas for Misfits Christmas if you or holiday,
Gotcha.
if you feel like you're gonna be left out. I don't want to leave either of you out of a holiday show, but I feel like it would be a good topic. So I think we're going to do that on Saturday. And then Monday, the 21st, is Amanda's new show at 9:00. Amanda and Shay, their new show. So I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, Andy. And then next week, we have Greg Ogles. He's a Bigfoot researcher. And
Oh, Greg.
I don't have a second guest, so we'll have to look for one. I'll email
Greg
you.
Ogles, avid commenter.
Yes, he's often in the chat. So I'm not even going to read it. I'm just going to let you ladies answer that.
Both. often one more than the other. You got to hit it from the right angle.
The Tower of Power.
Right.
You've got to have the Tower of Power.
And it needs to be a little bit bigger than that.
And you have to hold your tongue just right.
You're the one who bought it.
I'm not the one using it.
Well, it's staying in that latex thing as far as I'm concerned.
You don't know what happens when you're not home.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, no, never mind. I'll leave that alone. All right. So, yeah, we'll find us another guest, but next week we'll be Bigfoot with Greg. And we'll find us another Bigfoot researcher.
Okay.
So,
oh gosh.
And then hopefully soon you'll be able to let us know, Shay, your schedule and how it's working. So
when you guys get like messages from me when I don't realize that it's like 2:00 in the morning, don't be surprised.
I do it all the time. So. It's true. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thank you for everything. We appreciate your support, love, and of course, you can send me a Mountain Dew. The link's in the comments. Everybody have a great night.